Hey guys, TWD Abbott here, and welcome back to another video. And in this one, it's the end of 2020. So, well, pretty much it's the end of 2020. We still have a week or so, but I mean, there's not going to be any more Walking Dead anything until next year, until February. So I thought I would take all of the Walking Dead universe episodes from this year. That includes The Walking Dead Season 10B, which is the second half of Season 10. Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, the first half, which includes the first 7 episodes, and the entire first season of The Walking Dead World Beyond. Now, if we are going to run through these episodes fairly quickly, but I mean, we're still going to go in depth in them. But if you have not seen The Walking Dead Season 10 episodes 9 through 16, or Fear the Walking Dead episodes 1 through 7 of Season 6, or if you've not seen the entirety of The Walking Dead World Beyond Season 1, then this video will contain serious spoilers. I mean, also, if you haven't seen, like, previous seasons of these shows, excluding World Beyond, then I guess we may have some spoilers from there. Depends on how deep we get into it. But, let's just kick off our list. We are kicking off our list with The Walking Dead Season 10, Episode 10, which is Stalker. Now, this was an awesome one because, of course, this is when Beta tunnels down into Alexandria and invades and kills off a bunch of Alexandrians. Basically, Daryl fights Alpha, and it was awesome because they both wind up really hurting each other. I mean, Daryl has to pull a huge knife out of his his leg there, and he has some cuts on his forehead and everything. Lydia saves him, and Alpha's left behind. And then she's like, "I will be stronger than ever." That was a cool moment for her. But dude, Beta versus Rosita, Judith shooting Beta. The mini fight between him and Laura in the cell, and him killing Laura, man, that was surprising. And then, yeah, it was a really cool episode. It wasn't it was very high stakes, I'll just say this. But it was a fantastic episode. And the next one, at number 9, is In This Life from The Walking Dead World Beyond. This is Season 1, Episode 10, which is the finale. And I'll just say it right now, this is the only episode of The Walking Dead World Beyond on this list. I mean, if I were to put, maybe 11, 12, 13, maybe, just maybe the 9th episode of the season, The Deepest Cut, or maybe The Sky is a Graveyard, Shadow Puppets, something like that. Maybe it would get in there, but we're just gonna do the finale. It was a good episode. We get the final conclusion with Huck and Felix fighting. That was great. We get Felix and Iris starting to set up a resistance against the CRM. Hope, confronting Huck and then having to deal with the fact that she is the asset and going off in the helicopter in the end was also very well done. And this episode was really the episode that made me love Silas as a character. Elton and Percy, of course, have to go their separate ways from him, and Silas has to sacrifice himself to make sure they get away. Obviously he's gonna be fine, but I'm sure he's gonna do some awesome damage in Season 2, but if you want to hear my thoughts on The Walking Dead World Beyond, what's gonna be happening in Season 2 of that, I have a video on the channel. I'm just predicting some things about that. But seriously, great fight between Huck and Felix, and then the stuff with Iris and Hope's dad and his girlfriend, that whole thing, that's going to be very interesting for Season 2, how we see how he is doing, because it looks like to me his girl is hardcore CRM, so it's going to be definitely difficult for him to get out of the situation that he might have to encounter in Season 2. But yeah, it was a great finale. Honestly, I didn't have a lot of viewers, because at this point people were starting to get sick of World Beyond, but honestly, for those of you that did actually watch it, you can agree it was a good finale, and it was the best episode of the season, easily. Next up, we get The Key at number 8 from Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 4. This, of course, was the John Dory-centered episode, mainly, and I loved it. It was absolutely fantastic. Basically, the story around this one is that John finds this ranger named Cameron, and Virginia is kind of like skeptical about who would do it. So John has to basically use his old cop instincts to sniff out the killer, and it's still up in the air exactly if it was Janice or not that killed Cameron. I still have a slight suspicion that it was Virginia and she was just trying to out Janice. They hinted that for sure, so I mean that might be the possibility that Virginia did do that. But Janice ultimately takes credit for the murder, and she's executed by, Virginia. I mean, it is a brutal death. Basically, she's left outside by Virginia. There's loud music. Walkers come there, and they just, oh man, they tear her apart. And the scene where John is in the graveyard, I think, oh yeah, he was digging up Cameron to see like anything he could use like as a clue. And he gets attacked and he has to kill some walkers there. And then of course when he finds Janice, it's a very saddening moment for John, because John is one of the most heartfelt characters on Fear the Walking Dead, easily. So it was definitely hard to see him go through such a tremendous thing. Of course, we get some stuff with Morgan, as the two guys that are looking for the key hunt him down, crash into his car, but then Morgan easily takes them out, swinging his axe into this guy's stomach, and it was so brutal. Stabs a dude in the chest, and then he was just like, he gets the key, and Morgan's like, what in the hell do you unlock? Oh man. I mean, I'm still very interested in that subplot, by the way, with the key. It's going to be very cool. And then, of course, we get the awesome reunion of John and June, which I'm sure everyone was looking forward to seeing. But yeah, Fear the Walking Dead, pulling out some big wins this year, I'll tell you that much. Fantastic job to whoever is writing this season, because I guarantee you it's not the same guys that wrote Season 5. They have a ghostwriter or something, because it's on a whole other level than Season 5 of Fear was. But on with the list. At number 7, we have what we become from The Walking Dead Season 10, Episode 13. This is Michonne's last episode, and man, what a ride it was. We were already gearing up for an emotional, episode with Michonne leaving, because this is just such a iconic character. She is a symbol of the show. Ever since Rick left, it was her and Daryl were the main, protagonist of the show, and now Daryl is pretty much front-running it after Michonne has left. And it's a great way for her to leave, finding out that Rick could possibly be alive, and Judith gives her that, encouragement to go after him. The whole hallucination scene, though, is hands down one of the best scenes from this year from any of the Walking Dead shows. With seeing Michonne as the backpack guy from Season 3, whether it's seeing her Lucille herself in the flashback, or, Daryl shooting her with a crossbow and then Rick killing her. That was incredible, honestly. Her finding Negan, her becoming a savior, I loved that. I loved the hell out of that. That was incredible. Yeah, that's pretty much the way this episode can be summed up. Incredible. Because it was just an awesome send-off for the character. We all knew she was gonna probably go find Rick, but man, I'm so excited to see where her journey takes her in the Walking Dead movies that we'll see her in, hopefully. Yeah, I mean, fantastically done. I forget who exactly directed that episode, but they did an amazing job. And we all really needed that episode because I think if I remember correctly, that episode aired shortly after, you know, the whole pandemic struck. So we were all needing that. But on with the countdown. So at number 6 is Welcome to the Club, Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 2. And this was an awesome one, specifically for the character of Victor Strand. Now, Victor Strand, as we know from Fear the Walking Dead watchers, he is a sneaky man. We love him, but he is a sneaky man. And in this episode, he feeds a man to walkers. It is honestly one of the most dark and horrible things I've seen these characters do on Fear the Walking Dead, which is one of the reasons why I love the show, is because since it started from the beginning of the apocalypse, you know, maybe from the start of The Walking Dead to where it starts off, you know, with Rick waking up in a helicopter and we see the Atlanta group, they might have already done some things they may be ashamed of, you know. But, I mean, Fear the Walking Dead, you get to see them go from these normal suburban people in LA to these killers and these walker killing machines. And Strand, he earned his killer badge in this episode as he fed Sanjay to the walkers to prevent Alicia and Charlie from being, you know, overrun from the walkers that were coming out of the entrance that they were trying to get. And they were trying to get like a weapon, and then the weapon is revealed to not even exist. And it turns out that Strand was the thing that Virginia was looking for, and we get the whole thing starting off with Strand becoming a pioneer. And it was a great, first off, it was one of the best openings I've seen to an episode, and I believe it was Lenny James, who plays Morgan, who directed it. Fantastic job to Lenny James. Also we get some cool stuff with Daniel. He, like, you know, he's outside, there's a walker, and then the walker gets killed, and it's Morgan, and, you know, Daniel reveals that he still has his memory, because this whole episode, Daniel pretends that he doesn't have his memory. Oh, man, I loved this episode. Very high on my list, probably for Fear the Walking Dead episodes as well. But, moving on to number 5, which is another Fear the Walking Dead Season 6 episode, Bury Her Next to Jasper's Leg, which is Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 6. This is a phenomenal episode where June, Luciana, Sarah, Wes, you know, some other characters in there, Virginia, are at the oil plantation, Tank Town, I believe they call it. And the End is the Beginning group have attacked. There's explosions, the oil is raining down, there's people that are injured, there's walkers, there's flames. It is a chaotic episode. And one of the standout moments, Virginia gets bitten, and Colby Menifee just goes off. I mean, she is like, no, I'm not alright, I'm goddamn bit, goddamn it. It was a very intense episode because we have Wes, who gets injured, and we don't know if he's going to make it or not. We get a really close call with June in like the very beginning. I thought that Luciana or somebody would die in this episode, but thankfully not. And then we get some great one-liners with Sarah, and Sarah calls, you know, Virginia Freckles. And then we get the ending with the awesome payoff of Virginia's arm being hacked off. Or her hand. It was her hand? Or was it her arm? I forget if it was her arm or hand. But, you know, one of those gets chopped off. And basically, June makes her, you know, makes Virginia agree to open up a hospital for June to treat some people. And also gets Wendell reunited with Sarah. That was a great moment. For those characters, because I really believe they need some development. That can be the kick the kick in the right direction that they desperately needed. And then on top of all of that, the crushing conclusion where John, throughout the whole episode, is trying to figure out how him and June can escape, and he has this plan, with her, and she says before she runs into the oil fields, I'm gonna help these people, and then we're gonna live our lives away from Virginia. And then afterwards, of course, since she has the hotel, idea greenlit by Ginny, she decides to stay, and John decides to go, and they separate. It is a heartbreaking scene, but it made the episode that more impactful. But yeah, number 5. At number 4 is Damage from the Inside. This is the most recent episode of Fear the Walking Dead Season 6. This is episode 7. Since episode 8 couldn't be completed in time due to the pandemic, which I'm so looking forward to that second half of Fear the Walking Dead, by the way. Looks amazing. Damage from the Inside is a master-crafted episode. It's probably within my top 10 of the entire season. Or within the entire series, I mean. It's phenomenal. I mean, the only complaint was I was really hoping that Madison Clark would come back. She didn't come back, but it's okay. Because she will come back at this season. The very last episode of Season 6, she will come back. Anyway. This video is actually kind of serving as like a review for like Season 10 and Fear Season 6 and The Walking Dead World Beyond, Season 1. I mean, they were all good. Season 1 of World Beyond was meh. I mean, it's the weakest of the 3, of course. Obviously, in my opinion, you can tell from this list, Fear Season 6 is the MVP of 2020. But of course, I mean, if things had gone normally without the pandemic, we would have had more episodes of Fear and more episodes of The Walking Dead, and possibly even World Beyond would have started up with Season 2. We would have had more episodes to go off of. But I mean, I think we had enough to get a decent ranking, which was good. But Damage from the Inside is about Alicia and Charlie on a rescue mission to find Dakota, which of course is Virginia's sister, because Strand lost her, and Morgan reunites with them. Morgan and Alicia's reunite scene was fantastic, because I love those two characters together. That pairing is badass. You put Morgan with Alicia, you get a Walker killing machine. Because I always love Alicia with her weapon, her iconic Fear weapon at this point. It's like a sharpened gun mount. I love that thing. That's incredible. She uses it so well. And Morgan with the new axe in Season 6. It's great. But we are basically set in this house where this guy has taken Dakota in, and he used to be like a taxidermist, which if you don't know, he stuffs like animals and stuff, makes like weird things with them. But basically walkers invade. He won't let Dakota leave, but they convince him after he falls on a deer antler. Why did I say antler? So weird. That's strange. But he dies, and they get eaten, and then they go with Morgan. We get a really intense scene with Strand. It's like Strand's like, good, you found her. Because, he sees Dakota, he's like, alright, come on, you're coming with me back to Lawton. And Alicia's like, no, she's not going there. And Strand's like, and why the hell not? And Morgan's like, 'cause she's coming with me. And he's like, it's good to see you, Victor. And Victor's just like, whoa, does she know you're alive? That was a cool scene. But the big topper to all of that is the big reveal at the end, when it's revealed that Grace, who has been pregnant, of course, since Season 5, the finale, it was revealed that she's been pregnant. They've been keeping a pregnant Grace, Virginia has, in this little area, and they're going to use her as leverage to scoop up every last one of Morgan's people. So we're definitely going to get a lot more inclusion of the other members of the group. Some reunions are ahead for sure. But yeah, great episode. And okay, alright. Number 3 is Walk With Us from The Walking Dead Season 10. This is episode 12. This is the notorious episode where Alpha gets what she deserves. Her head gets chopped clean off, and it was so satisfying. Negan does it. It was great. It's a definite highlight for season 10. You know, we get the opening with Hilltop burning to the ground, and Magna returns, of course. Judith has her first kill, which is cool. Her first human kill. That was awesome. We get some sad deaths in the in Earl, which is the blacksmith for Hilltop, and of course Gamma, aka Mary, and she was a great character. Very, very underrated in my opinion. You know, Beta kills her, and he's like, "You will walk with us." Like, that was just Ryan Hurst makes the best Beta. And you know, no wonder this was such a great episode. Greg Nicotero directed it. There's another Greg Nicotero episode on here. I'm sure you can guess which one. But yeah, Earl gets killed by, you know, being bit, and Judith has to put him down. But just the entire sequence of Negan luring Alpha to the cabin, and then slitting her throat and cutting her head off. But then the ultimate reveal that Carol let Negan out of his cell, and that she has been plotting to, to get this head from Negan and putting it on a pike. It was just so well done. Awesome episode. Alright, number 2, because I'm trying not to keep you guys too long. We're already running into the 22-minute mark. Number 2 is our final Fear the Walking Dead episode on the list. Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 1, The End is the Beginning. I mean, do I even have to say anything? It was a journey that Morgan is going on through this whole episode. Where basically he is fighting against these walkers, he's fighting against the bounty hunter, Emil, that's chasing him, he's fighting against himself, because he doesn't want to open up to people again and get people hurt. And he has this master plan that he is going to find someone, you know, that he can trust to get his people to safety when they save him from Virginia. It was really well done. It's probably within top 5 episodes of the whole Fear the Walking Dead series. It's 10:20 at night. But Morgan is just such an amazing character. You see him go from this struggling man that just desperately wants to be alone, and he wants to more than anything to save his family, you know, these people that he's found. I'm sure that he in his final moments that he thought that he was going to die, you know, in this episode, because the whole time, you know, walkers are passing him because he's bleeding. You know, he was probably ready to die. He found Isaac, of course, and Isaac dies, and that kind of gives Morgan hope to continue on and be the man that he can for the people that he loves. And the fight between him and Emil, and him killing Emil the way he does it, just an amazing highlight of the episode, and a great way to start off the season. Yeah, number 2. Alright, but, of course, without a doubt, the number 1 best Walking Dead universe episode from 2020 is The Walking Dead Season 10, Episode 16, A Certain Doom. We had to wait so long for this episode to come out, and it was entirely worth it. We get the conclusion to the Whisperer War. We get Beatrice's death, her being ripped apart in the middle of the horde. We get Gabriel being an awesome dude and basically wanting to sacrifice himself for these people. Maggie returns and saves him. We get the dude with the awesome knives, you know, saving him as well. We get Beta charging, you know, towards Negan. The only complaint I had was I wish the fight between Beta, Daryl, and Negan lasted a bit longer, because that would have just been cool. I'm sure everyone agrees with me on that. But honestly, that cherry on top was just Daryl just stabbing those knives into Beta's eyes. It was an incredible thing to see. And the way Beta takes the knives out and he's, you know, devoured, it was the perfect end to that character, honestly. It was very chilling, but it was very well done. You just get a lot of awesome moments in this. You know, like the end, even the ending. Carol is ready to step over this cliff with this herd and die with all of them. Lydia saves her, and then we get the awesome sequence with Lydia throwing the mask over the cliff, and you get the slow motion shot of the walkers falling with the Whisper mask, Alpha's Whisper mask falling with them. That was just the cherry on top. You get the reveal that Connie is alive. You get some more funny banter with Princess, Eugene, Ezekiel, and Yumiko, and then you get the epic introduction to the Commonwealth with the stormtroopers, you know, coming in at the end to greet them. And it was just an absolutely awesome episode, and it was a great finale. It's definitely up there in the Walking Dead finales for all the shows. And it was my favorite episode of 2020 Walking Dead season. So yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. Let me know what your favorite episodes were of, you know, season 10 of The Walking Dead, season 6 of Fear, and you know, World Beyond season 10, or season 1. We're not at season 10, and we probably never will be. But, yeah, leave a like, and make sure to subscribe for some more awesome content. We got a very special video coming on Christmas Day, of course, with Media Dumpster, and more great content coming on soon at ya. So, take care, guys. See ya. Be good people.